We're in Seoul, South Korea, and this is a first look of the new EV3.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk around the outside, we'll show you the outside, the inside, we'll take it for a drive. We're getting a chance to drive this over a year before it comes.
Now, we first saw the EV3 concept at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in January. So it's just so great to be invited to South Korea to actually drive this EV and follow it along in the different stages of production. So this really looks like a mini EV9. It has just more of a compact look. And one thing Kia said when they were designing the EV3 is they wanted it to be a vehicle that many people could buy on different budgets. And I think that that's important. They were looking at range. They were worried about range anxiety and taking it on long trips. And you'll find when we actually drive this, the range that this offers is quite good for a small crossover. Now, as Zach mentioned, this is the GT line. There is going to be a GT model coming. So you've got a base EV3 that has a different grille than this, but it still actually looks pretty sporty. It comes standard with 17-inch wheels. You can get 19-inch, which you see on this GT line. And then the GT model is going to get 20-inch wheels. Well, it's sure nice to see that this has a frunk, although small, only 25 liters, just under a cubic foot. But it's still nice to have for your charging cables or any little items that you want to hide away. The good thing about this is that it has gas struts.
Well, Kia couldn't resist the urge to do the hidden door handles. No regular door handle in the front, and in the back, they're hidden up here. Now, a lot of people seem to like this hidden design. It gives it more of a coupe-like look. But if you have little kids and they're trying to open the door by themselves, that can limit their access to the back. Let me in.
Some of you might be wondering what this compares to in size. Now, it is smaller than the Kia Niro by a little bit, and it's bigger than the Volvo EX30, so it's actually quite a good size for a compact crossover. I like the back design of this, and it almost looks like a hatch style window, like you could open it up. Obviously you can't, but there's something that I'm so happy it has. It has a rear wiper, something that the Kia EV6 didn't get, and I think it's a mistake. People want a rear wiper. Now, when you open this up, you've got a power tailgate, which is nice in this segment to have. There's quite a bit of storage hidden under here. Obviously, no temporary spare tire. That's for weight saving to protect your range. This has 16.2 cubic feet of space, and it's not too bad, although not best in class when you take a look at the Niro. It is a little bit bigger for cargo space.
Well, Andrea mentioned the Niro, and I suspect the Niro will be on sale until this arrives, and this will replace the Niro. And that vehicle was really good, or is really good, I should say, for rear seat space, and this is no different. You've got plenty of knee room. Remember, this is a compact to subcompact crossover. You've got pretty good headroom. Your feet slide underneath, and it has this coat hook that sits on the back of the front seats. There's vents here, and there's even heated seats in the rear, plus an armrest. So, nicely equipped. And one more thing, look at this. Oh, yeah. Good night.
Okay, this interior is impressive. Look, we don't have pricing and what this is going to start at, but boy, does it ever look good. First off, look at this color combo in here with the gray and the cream. Looks fabulous. Really like that Kia went with all of this material, and it's a darker color, so I really don't think it's gonna get super dirty. It's gonna hold up over time. What a fabulous idea. I wish more manufacturers would do this sort of trim. You've got this chrome. Hey guys, there is not a stitch of piano black in here. A manufacturer is listening. Now look at this. So you know what, if you're charging and you bring your laptop or something, you want to do some work or you're going to have a snack, this moves back and forth 120 millimeters. So it's kind of a nice, cool feature to have, and there's lots of storage underneath here as well. You've got 2 cup holders. This is where your wireless charger is, and this lifts up. Obviously no storage in here because of the nice tray, but you've got plenty under here. Door pockets are very wide for a smaller crossover, and you've got the GT line badging in here. I would say that the screen is really the showstopper in here. It's a 30-inch display, and it's made up of 3 different screens. So you've got the 12.3-inch digital driver display, 12.3-inch touchscreen, and then a 5-inch screen in the middle, which controls your air conditioning, your heat. But what I like is that the heated seats and ventilated seats, as well as the heated steering wheel, are on the door, so you don't have to go into the screen to access any of that stuff. There's driver seat memory, which includes the mirrors in this model, and there's 2 settings, and they're also on the side of the door. Now, there's also a lounge feature. Take a look at this. So if you are charging your vehicle and maybe you want to have a nap, you can do that. Easy to use. There's a bar on the side of the seat. I also find that these seats are super comfortable, really quite cushioned. I don't think I've been in a Kia model where the seats are this comfortable. We've been driving a lot today, so I think you'll enjoy this vehicle on a long road trip. A lot of the materials used in here are sustainable, so they're either recycled materials or sustainable materials. You get a cloth wool type interior on the base model, and this is leatherette. There's also an available Harman Kardon sound system, which we've been listening to music in here. It sounds pretty good.
It's all in Korean, Andrea.
It's all in Korean, but we're still getting this out. The other thing is there is a sunroof, and it opens. How about that for an EV? It also has a shade as well, and look how quick that is. Hold on, Zach.
Ooh. EV power, EV torque, and she's nice and quiet. Good air conditioning too. Holy mother, is it humid in Seoul?
It is so hot. We have had all different kinds of weather today. A huge storm rolled in, then it got super humid. Anyway, everything's kind of calmed down.
We're finally getting some work done. All right, so we're in the EV3. We are well ahead of when it's coming to North America, as we mentioned already. It's going to be in Europe and Asia first, but what's been announced?
Well, what we're in today is the GT line model. It's a front-wheel drive model, and it's long range. So it has an 81.4 kilowatt hour battery, and it gets up to 605 kilometers, 375 miles of range, which is quite incredible. Now, of course, that is on the European test cycle. We do expect to get less range when it's tested in North America.
Yeah, but Andrea, going on the trip computer today, it gives you the optimistic, like the most you could get, and then what you're actually getting. And we had it at 560 kilometers of usable range. We witnessed that today.
And the max came up at 620 kilometers, so it is impressive.
So there will also be the standard EV3, which has a much smaller battery at 58.3 kilowatts, 270 miles or 436 kilometers of range, once again on the European cycle.
Kia tells us an all-wheel drive model will be available, but the specs haven't been released. This one has 201 horsepower and 208 pound-feet of torque, so that torque number is really good.
Now, when I was showing you the back seat, I mentioned that Niro is staying in the marketplace, and I suspect it will be replaced with EV3. Niro will go and EV3 will come in, and one of the knocks against Niro is it's not available with all-wheel drive. Same thing with the electric version of Kia Soul. So this is going to be the subcompact with all-wheel drive, perfect for the North American market.
And this has got more power than the Niro. The Niro has 201 horsepower and 188 pound-feet of torque. This long-range model also has a larger battery. The Niro has a 64.8 kilowatt hour battery.
Now, we don't have pricing for this, but we do have pricing for Niro, so we're going to jump into that in a moment. But the drive, Andrea, this feels very premium. You can tell it's been updated from Niro. It's so quiet.
Yeah, so quiet. One thing about Kia is they do make quiet hybrids, but we did find with the Niro that the cabin wasn't as well insulated as we would like it to be. That is not the case with this model. Super quiet, quite refined, and although we're riding on 19-inch wheels, it really eats up those imperfections in the road. So I can only imagine with 17-inch wheels how you would see even more of an improvement.
So I've been saying for years, Andrea, that Tesla has been pushing everybody in the auto industry when it comes to electric vehicles, but I think the Korean brands, it's telling us we're coming up to a speed camera.
No, and it's telling us that I'm going too fast,
for the speed
which is
camera.
a problem in electric vehicles because you don't feel the speed.
So I think the Korean brands are really pushing forward when it comes to all the features, amenities, design on the outside and inside. You know, they're just relentless with nonstop innovation, and they have more electric vehicles in the market than anybody else.
Yeah, they're just relentless with the pursuit, and you can see it here in South Korea. Most models on the road are from the Hyundai Group, Kia, Genesis, and Hyundai.
Relentless.
I really like the steering in this model because it doesn't feel too light. Most of you know I don't like super light steering. It has some really nice feedback, and the braking isn't mushy. Sometimes with EVs, the braking feels a little bit soft. That's not the case with this. There's really good feedback.
And they have what's called iPedal 3.0, which is the latest version of using 1 foot driving, and you can do that at all levels of regen braking.
You can use the paddle shifters to control the regen braking, and one great thing about iPedal 3.0 is that it remembers the level that you are on. So if you stop the car and you restart, you're back on that level, and there's 3 levels of regen braking available.
So this is what we call a long lead, meaning you get your chance to drive the car long before it's available. How long? Let's get into what we know and what we don't know. We were talking to the executives today, and they said it'll probably be a 2026 calendar year. So over a year away before we get the EV3. We want to hear from you. Do you think it'll be worth the wait?
Yeah, and I think really what it comes down to is more and more people want an affordable EV available to them. It's not that they're against EVs, they just want an affordable option, and some don't want the EV9 because it's too big. So Kia has come out with a crossover that will hopefully meet the needs of many. Unfortunately, we don't know the pricing, but we can only assume that it will probably start at where the Niro is, which in Canada is over $48,500, and in the US just under $40,000. But the Niro goes up to 56,000 Canadian on the top end and over 44,000 in the US on the top trim.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be more expensive. You can look at that as a barometer, but I think this has got more tech. It's nicer than the Niro is. It's going to have that available all-wheel drive, and we're seeing the prices creep up with EVs. So they're saying this is going to be the affordable EV for the masses.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait and see.
And remember when that first press release came out and they announced the US pricing, when they talked about the EV3 coming in at about $35,000 US, you know what? I just don't believe that's going to happen. I think it will be higher as well. For those who love to go on a road trip and need a DC fast charger, this can charge up to speeds of 130 kilowatt. Now the standard range from 10 to 80% in 29 minutes, and the long range from 10 to 80% in 31 minutes. Now this does charge 12 minutes faster than the Niro.
This is the 400 volt architecture though. It's not the 800 you get in the EV6. So it's obviously an economy thing, keep the cost down. And this EV3 will do a run to 100 kilometers an hour, roughly 60 miles an hour in 7.7 seconds. That's for the long range battery. For the standard range, 7.5 seconds. So that's what we know and what we don't know. We do know it is coming in 2026. It does look like this on the outside and the inside. That's the size of the battery and the output of the electric motors. So what do you think of the EV3? Is this going to be the affordable EV for you?
Kia continues to push forward with electrification with so many models on the road, and more to come from this brand. If you like what you see, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.